How much do you think you should have in your emergency fund? 5,000, 10,000, 20,000? How do you know if you have enough? Now, an emergency fund is really important to have. So, an emergency fund is used when you have emergencies. So, how much do you feel comfortable with having if an emergency arises? That's the real factor. Now, some people think they need to have $30,000 or $40,000 in their emergency fund, and in most cases, that's just not true. Now, if you only have, say, $1,000, that's not enough to be considered fully funded, but you also don't need $40,000 as an emergency fund. How much should your fund actually be? Well, most experts recommend 3 to 6 months of expenses. With most people, 3 to 6 months is totally fine. Some people want to have a year's worth, but it's not of income. You don't need 3 to 6 months of income saved up, just your expenses. So if you earn $1,000, or let's say you earn $1,500 a month, and you spend $1,000 a month. This is just for easy math. I know this is not, you'd maybe be 18 living at home with no car. If you make $1,500 a month and you want to have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, it does not mean you need 3 to 6 months of $1,500. You need, let's say you spend $1,000 a month. That means you're going to want $3,000 to $6,000 for an emergency fund. Now, with that's a pretty small emergency fund, even if you're only spending $1,000 a month. If you don't have a car, you don't have rent, things like that, it's not going to be a problem. But say you move out, you get a car, you need to change what your emergency fund has in it. Say now you have a job, you're making $3,000 a month, but you spend $2,000 a month, you need to up the amount. So if you have $2,000 that you spend every month, and you times that by 3, you need a $6,000 emergency fund or a $12,000 emergency fund. It depends. For most households, it's going to be roughly $10,000 to $15,000 will be plenty for emergency funds. If you get in a car accident, you can pay your deductible. If the transmission blows out, oh darn, get me a new transmission, get it fixed, I want it back in a week. That's your biggest problem. When do I get my car back? Not, oh my gosh, how do I pay for this? Do you guys do payment plans? And then you get yourself stuck in a 30% plan. Blech. Other factors to consider. Do you have health issues? That's something that's important, because if you have things that, randomly you just can't work for 2 months, maybe you should have an 8-month emergency fund, just in case. It depends. If you have a larger family, the chances that other things will happen that negatively impact your financial station, you may want to have a bigger emergency fund. But what it all boils down to, do you think you're going to need more than $20,000? Probably not. But a $20,000 emergency fund is just straight comfort. How much do you think that you should have? Let me know down in the comments. Do you feel comfortable with where you're at? Peace, love, and happiness. I'm rooting for you, bro.